One vote by one defiant MEC and the highly volatile KZN provincial government is already collapsing. Behind the political party conflict and the coalition realignments currently reshaping KwaZulu-Natal lies a political phenomenon that rarely receives the attention it actually deserves. Zulu nationalism, a rising force that has the potential to permanently alter South Africa's political landscape. Last month, the coalition government of provincial unity, which has been administering the province since 2024, seemed to have passed an important test. The Umkhonto we Sizwe party of Jacob Zuma, backed by the economic freedom fighters of Julius Malema, introduced a motion of no confidence in KwaZulu-Natal's Premier Tami Ntuli, the first Natal Premier from the Inkatha Freedom Party in just over 20 years. On the 15th, the motion only failed by a single vote in the KwaZulu-Natal legislature, and it failed for one reason only. Because the National Freedom Party's sole representative in the KZN legislature and MEC for Social Development, Mbali Shinga, defied National Party directives and voted against the motion instead of for it as his party required. This means that had Shinga actually followed the directives from his party's leadership, Ntuli would not be premier today. And the internal conflict which ensued in the NFP has led to it announcing this week that it is withdrawing from the provincial coalition government altogether, which means that the government of provincial unity, which had been formed to keep the EFF and MK out of power in the province, has now officially lost its majority. This withdrawal of just one party from a highly fragile provincial coalition could have radical implications for KZN's already volatile political landscape, which in turn, of course, has implications for all of South Africa. The National Freedom Party is a relatively new and very small political party in South Africa. It was established in January 2011 when disgruntled members of the Inkatha Freedom Party broke away to form this new Zulu nationalist party. After initially gaining 2.4% of the national vote in the first election it contested, the NFP has since declined to just over 0.2% of the vote, with much of its base deferring back to other parties, most notably the IFP from which it had originally split. In fact, had it not been for the fact that their single seat in the KZN provincial government was needed to form a majority coalition, after the ANC, IFP and DA agreed to form a coalition, the NFP would have, in all probability, descended into complete irrelevance by now. Yet, it has been kept alive by the radical changes in the provincial political landscape, with by far the largest party in the province, the MK, the Umkhonto we Sizwe, being kept out of power by a very fragile coalition of everybody else, which required no less than 4 parties to achieve its majority. Now, one of those parties has withdrawn, and while it is unlikely that the NFP itself will make major political inroads in the future, the fact that its leadership now openly sides with the MK means that a further share of the Zulu nationalist vote base in KwaZulu-Natal is shifting towards the MK. One must remember that with the last election, the MK party was a mere 6 months old. Yet, in KZN, the party won an astonishing 45.4% of the vote, making it by far the largest party in the province and just a few points away from winning an outright majority in KZN. In fact, no other party came even close to gaining half of the votes that the MKP did in last year's election. Furthermore, we also have to take into account that KZN's demographics also point to the fact that the MKP is likely to gain even more votes in the upcoming elections. According to the 2011 census, Zulus made up 78% of the entire population of Natal, and with the 2022 census, this rose to 82%. The estimates are that when municipal elections are held later this year, the Zulu nation will constitute no less than 84% of the province's population. KwaZulu-Natal is, for all practical purposes, becoming an ethnic Zulu homeland, which means that parties like the ANC and especially the new Liberal DA have absolutely no political future in this province. The Zulu people have always stood out amongst all the black nations of this country as the one people that have never fully supported the ANC. In fact, during the 80s and even the early 90s, during the run-up to the 1994 election, the Zulu nationalists of the IFP was even considered a very real threat to the ANC's dominance as the IFP grew in popularity. Especially among conservative Zulus in the 80s, it was also increasingly recognized as a political threat to the ANC, and the ANC proceeded to suppress this very new threat in the only way that they knew how, with extreme violence. Throughout the 80s, there were several instances of ANC-aligned UDF militants slaughtering IFP members, many of whom were local councillors serving KwaZulu-Natal's administration. This was because the ANC adopted a strategy to make the KwaZulu homeland ungovernable in order to stop the rise of the IFP and Zulu nationalism in general, who were actively involved in the homeland government structures of the time. When the Truth and Reconciliation Commission in late 1998 found the ANC guilty of human rights abuses conducted during the anti-apartheid struggle, it specifically listed the 76 Inkatha Freedom Party office bearers in Natal who had been targeted and assassinated by the ANC. Yet the ANC never actually managed to truly win over the Zulu people the same way they won over the other black tribes in this country, despite the extreme violence committed in the Zulu homelands being far worse and far more violent than the violence the ANC used against the other black tribes to get the other black tribes in line with the ANC and their ideology. And the political result of this is bound to be that the MKP will inevitably soon become the outright majority in KwaZulu-Natal, most probably already in this year's municipal elections. However, it may not have to wait until then to gain full political control over the province. If the NFP now proceeds to follow through with its threat to join forces with the MK and EFF, the so-called Progressive Alliance, of which both the MK and EFF are members, will already effectively be in political control of the province from now on. Zulu nationalism is radically reshaping the political landscape of this province in a way that amplifies to complete political fragmentation. We see all over South Africa at the moment. As demographic consolidation meets political memory, Zulu nationalism is re-emerging as the dominant organizing force in the province of KZN, no longer mediated through the IFP, but radicalized and centralized under the MK party. The collapse of the GPU signals that minority-dependent technocratic coalitions cannot withstand ethnically consolidated majorities. If the MK and EFF axis consolidates power in KZN, the province will become the first clear example of post-1994 South Africa clearly fragmenting ethno-national lines, a development that is bound to accelerate national instability, hollow out opposition politics, and make South Africa increasingly ungovernable for the so-called centre parties. In a recent video, we highlighted exactly why the nationalist politics of the MK party is paving the way for its potential future victory, even on a national level. Check out our full report by clicking on this link appearing on your screen right now. And do remember to become a paid member of the Willem Petscher Group. Only with the support of our members are we able to keep our team together to produce videos of this quality every single morning. Goodbye and God bless.